Alright, welcome back to the T90 Titans League Season 2. Sorry, having a bit of technical difficulties here. Got LaN playing on Lithuanians, the Blue Trunks. We've seen this a couple of times recently. Up against Philip on the Huns. They do not need houses. We've also got improved Cav Archers, Trebs, and access to the Tarkans, faster training stables, while his Lithuanian counterpart going to have extra starting food, stronger spears, and if you can get a hold of these relics, his knights and ladies will hit like trucks. So we're here on Cross today, our players with access to a, well, in theory a safe water behind them, but oftentimes you see a proxy dock or three. Then there's also these contestable lakes, which end up usually being the safer ones because players are generally burnt out trying to fight over someone's starting lake. So Lithuanians actually have a really easy time getting this starting dock out because they get that extra 150 food, so you can worry a little bit less about early food, really beeline early wood, go for early fishing ships, you know, and then from there they've got a great economy to springboard them into feudal and castle. So Philip will be looking to take the dock probably around the time that LaN's already got 2 fishing ships out. So LaN, yeah, he's going to go take that dock now, and by the time it finishes, LaN should have another fishing ship out.
Sveiki. Aš pasiruošusi.
So LaN will be able to start actually working on his feudal slightly faster than Philip here, because again, that Civ diff, Lithuanians OP, bro. But Huns not having to build houses, they're also saving on wood. Obviously their first few houses sort of at a bit of a deficit because they start with less wood than the other civs, but once they start to get into feudal, they start, you know, saving it, because every 5 pop, that's basically 30 wood that they don't have to spend on a house. Is it 30 wood or 50? I can't remember. I think it'd be 60. Tell you in the tech tree. Yeah, houses. Sorry guys, it's been a while since I played AoE 2, so I'm just looking at a quick cost. 25, sorry. So yeah, it is going to take 4 houses for Philip's 100 wood at the start, reduction at the start, to really offset itself, sort of contend with the Lithuanian bonus food start. So both our players will be looking to pump up as many warships, as many fishing ships as they can, while they're looking to get into feudal before either of them, you know, makes a move with either land units or someone trying to proxy dock the other player. And from there we'll probably see a bit more of a shift away from continuing to add fishing ships. And just a little bit off the wood he needs to add another one at this stage. He's got some more gatherers on the wood, so he'll be able to keep adding those while also saving up towards adding his military buildings, and Philip will be looking to do the same thing now. All those gatherers now on the food now doing some wood gathering, these guys doing distance gathering on these trees around the town centre so he can put down some farms later on. So LaN, go for barracks on the shore. Doesn't really look like either of our players is going to go for being too brave with the villagers, but LaN is going to try and take a second dock here, try and give himself that eco boost over his opponent. I think he's actually going to try and place it on the far side, or directly in the center, so it gives him as much knowledge about if and when his opponent's trying to expand on this water as well. In fact, in theory, it should be pretty easy to try and proxy dock LaN here because he's got a very secure dock here and he's even walled himself in, but he doesn't have a lot of vision of this little patch of gold and the relic there. It'd be pretty easy to sneak a dock over there, whereas over here he's got a bit more range, line of sight of the coast. Not a huge amount, unlike AoEO or AoE4. Docks don't really give you a lot of line of sight. So, even still, he's probably going to have to add a watch post either side of the lake to really give him a good tell if he wants to know for sure. The scout had barely any health there anyway, so the builder was able to kill it. But now, Philip knows that LaN is committing on a bit more of a greedy economic opening here, so he can either follow up with an identical level of greed or try and pressure it and then try and add the greed. So he's already got stables racks production. LaN just stables production for the moment. Not making any spears by the look of it, but he's putting that wood into adding some more fishing boats now. He's briefly cut because he doesn't have a huge amount of wood in the bank. But this way, rather than investing in farms like Philip, he's you know, getting a second dock eco rolling. Village account starting to favour LaN, but Philip, it's well defended here. His wood lines are walled off. He's got a spear or two here to guard everything, but he probably needs another spearman over here. So Scout's going to be able to pick off a villager by the looks of it. Yeah, nicely done there by LaN. Well, Philip trying to do the same, but LaN, that's completely walled off. Not even berries. Villagers exposed there. And Philip attempting the dock there, and LaN scouting it just in time. Like, it's a perfect scout for him, actually. It's almost sus, that scout. It's perfect. He's going to do the dock check right as his opponent throws down the dock. It could not be any better, so he's going to be able to get the warship on the way, hopefully. Or maybe he doesn't have the gold just yet. So maybe, hopefully for Philip, he can try and squeeze out his own fire galley and push LaN off the water here, and he's winning a nice LaN battle here at the moment. It's a bit more scout cav here for LaN, but some spears in tow for Philip, so if he can engage with the whole army together, in theory he should come out on top there, but LaN going to have the more mobile cluster of units rather than some slow units and some mounted units. So players probably be looking to add a couple more villages and taking Castle Age from here, unless one of them really doubles down on infantry or cav and just shoves the hell out of the other. So Philip is market on the way. Both our players about halfway to the resources they need for the age up. In fact, Philip's slightly closer because he hasn't yet really invested a great deal in ships other than the fire galley he's had out here in the dock. LaN committing to a second dock as well, just in case he needs it. So yeah, engagement on the water eventually here. Philip catching LaN's attempt at going for the third dock, so very greedy and a nice fight here for Philip, which I've just missed unfortunately, but LaN's little hit squad of Scout Cav getting caught by a mix of Cav and Spears coming out on top there. I think with the double dock situation, even though Philip's slightly up on the kills, slightly trailing the Vilpop, so he's going to need to win this water here and prevent LaN from taking this next water, and ideally maybe even get on it himself. I was going to say Philip's slightly up on the fight, but LaN, another fire galley here in tow. So Castle Age on the way with Philip. LaN, his is already finished up. Only able to squeeze it out slightly quicker than his opponent, I thought. Philip might be able to get his faster. Husbandry on the way for LaN. He's going to have faster cavalry units. It's going to be nice now, and especially nice once our players have got knights. But it looks like LaN, it's worth investing in the second dock here and leaving a villager to repair. I think Philip is repairing there, or must have brought the villager a bit later. Philip's found a way into LaN's base. He's quite low with these scouts, but it's going to give him a good tell about that second town centre going up, and he might be able to get villager kill. The knights will have to be used fairly defensively for the moment, but they should be able to clean this up. Philip can't really stick around on that villager. He's going to have to try and get the fisherman, and then he's going to lose these guys, I think. Yes, the scouts. Not really a huge value other than the scouting value, but it does tell him that his opponent's got the monastery and the second TC. So I'm going to see the third TC from LaN just yet, but for now, Philip 1 TC. Vil counts just favouring LaN, but it is going to really skyrocket once this second and now this third town centre finish up, and he'll still have that water advantage. So Philip needs to try and get a hold of this water and try and add 2 TCs as fast as possible, while also making sure his Lithuanian opponent can't touch the relics. But the wall off isn't quite finished, because I think Philip was intending to put either another stables or a house there maybe, or maybe that terrain bit is just a bit annoying to try and wall off, or he just didn't have the wood at the time. So Philip with an incomplete wall off there, it's really going to come back to bite him. He's going to drop 3 or 4 villages here. Nice. Scout's not really able to finish off too many of them though. Clunky AoE 2 paving. So LaN now up 13 eco pop. Sort of throwing away this cav at the moment, but he's definitely safe here on the water. So Philip can finish off his wall up. He's down 17 Vilpop to LaN at the moment, who's got a nice 3 TC layout, while Philip needs to just get a bit more wood and stone so he can add those town centres. Decided to really muster up a big cav archer force and put a forward workshop up. He really wants to deal some damage. He's going to pick off one of the monks, which is really good. These knights won't be able to stick around at LaNs. More villagers. A bit of threat here. All the knights getting picked off. Another villager lucky. Nearly ended up with an arrow up his ass. So LaN's got a hold of 1 relic at the moment. Now, once he gets a little bit more, that plus his armory upgrades will making it really difficult for any of Philip's units to engage straight into his knights. Philip, nice pressure here. So these these cav archers not really accomplishing much. Though once the fishing boats start needing to use fishing traps around the docks, he might be able to pick some of them off then. For now, the cav archer mass proving difficult for the knights to run into. The mangonel going to be useful to land a shot on monk ball. Just want to slowly work away LaN's structures here. So still no second town center yet for Philip, and he's now down 30 eco pop. He really needs to make a difference with his army somewhere. LaN sitting largely unopposed on 3 TC at the moment, and also, you know, has that dock advantage. No player's gone for this 4th lake yet, so Philip needs to constantly be killing vills like that until he adds another pair of town centers. As for now, economically, he is starting to really lag behind LaN. Admittedly, at this point, LaN doesn't quite have the army to match him, but with that eco advantage, he will ultimately be able to spend a little bit more. Very shortly, he will be able to match the cav archer ball with his knights. And LaN still only has a hold of the 1 relic. So university now for Philip. So he's not going to go the town centre route. He's actually just going to tack up, try and get Imperial Age here. Because if he does get bombard cannons or trebuchets, he might be able to clear out these structures a little bit faster. Really have a siege ranged advantage. Cav archers having a kite all the way back home. Philip really needs that 3rd cav archer helping out there. It's a little bit of a shame for him. LaN's going to be able to clean that up, I think. 1 knight's not going to go down. That probably would have if there was that 3rd cav archer in support. LaN might even try converting a lone cav archer if he can get away with it. Be very cheeky, but if he does it, be hella worth it. Pretty expensive mounted ranged unit. So still no additional town centers for Philip, and his imp is still a ways off. He hasn't really got any resources in the bank. So he's just relying on not losing his mounted archer, sorry, his cav archer hit squad. But he's trailing by 40 vil pop at the moment. That lead is continuing to grow. The spearman now picked off by the knight. It's got enough blacksmith upgrades to take it on. Philip trying to find an opportunity to pick off some knights and then keep on kiting. Knight being used to kill a couple more villagers by LaN, so the vil count, the lead is massive by LaN. He doesn't get baited into an engagement until he has just enough knights to take the fight. Right here, because he is slightly trailing on military to Philip at the moment. He's got an impressive 45 military pop, but ooh, the cav archer's taking a shot there. They should be alright now that they've got outside of the Scorpion range. They need help from these other units here. LaN going to secure another relic at the moment. It's up to 2, about to get up to 3. It's going to start snowballing out of control here for Philip, and GG is the call.